New friends, new opportunities, new partners. EG Tax.
Hi, I'm Esther Golias, the tax lady from EG Tax, and this is our time to make sure that you get your taxes together. And we're every Tuesday on WBBZ at 6:30. Saturdays, we're on Ask the Tax Lady on 9:30 a.m. What is that?
BEN.
But WBEN, of course. And our show on Saturday, of course, you can just call in and actually be heard on the radio. This show is one where we deal with your emails, and if you would like to be part of our show, you can go to our website at egtax.com, ask the tax lady, and email your questions in, and we could use your email on one of our shows. Our offices are open 9 to 9 Monday through Friday, 9 to 5 on Saturday. We have 2 Sunday offices open.
That's right.
Yep. The Factory Outlet Mall in Niagara Falls, and then the McKinley Mall in Blaisdell.
And if this year you are a little short in your finances because the IRS is holding up refunds and you need some money to get you through until they finally do process your refund, EG Tax is offering a pre-fund.
Right,
You
which
wanna
is so
explain
cool.
that?
A pre-fund is if you're qualified, if your return is accepted and acknowledged within 24 to 48 hours, the bank can give you $1,000 of your projected refund, which is wonderful. So you get $1,000 instead of waiting until they're ready to release the money, and then the rest comes when it's ready to be released from the IRS.
When it comes.
Right.
And again, we've talked about this on other shows. To take control of your own situation would be a wonderful thing. Change your W-4 at work so you're not sitting around hoping that they're going to send you your money.
Yeah.
You'd actually get your money up front, and you'd be giving yourself your refund, and you don't have to wait for the taxing agencies.
That's right.
And I have to tell you, that's really what I'd suggest you do. And a lot of people say, oh, but this is my forced refund. And you know, it used to be that if we filed your return on Tuesday, you got the money next Thursday, before next Thursday. That is not the case. Identity theft is a gigantic problem. There are people around the world just hacking in information to find out about you, and they buy it from all kinds of agencies. So you can be so diligent about protecting your ID, and these hackers can get it, and they basically file a fake tax return using your name, your social security number, and they usually drum up all kinds of miscellaneous credits that they can get. They get the refund first, then when you go to file, your return rejects because it's already been filed. Then we have to straighten it all up.
Yep. I also wanted to say, if you have a life-changing situation, if you lose a child who's no longer your dependent, if you get a new job, a new raise, if your child goes off to college, you might want to call us because you might want to adjust your withholdings, increase your withholdings, or reduce your withholdings if you get married.
And then the other thing with the new Trump administration, who is going to cut taxes, you would change your estimates. If you were paying estimates of $2,000 a quarter, but your tax bill is going to go down by $1,000, you're going to change adjust your estimates as well. So here, EG Tax wants to be your resource.
Yeah.
So whether you use us online, you call us, and we do have people, real honest God people that answer the phone and talk to you.
Yep, I know at our trainings, we always train our staff on tax planning because it's not just taxes, it's tax planning, and there's so much that goes into it.
That's exactly right. And now that we are closer to the end of tax season, you want to make sure that you're ready to pay that liability. If you're unable to come up with your tax liability, EG Tax will help you to set up a payment program, counsel you so that you don't have the same problem next year.
That's right.
The whole thing is you want to be proactive because you don't want to end up having a gigantic liability. But if you should find yourself with a big liability that you can't pay, we even offer situations with
we
that.
help you with payment plans, offers, and compromises.
Calling the IRS, calling New York. Right? Because there's something called an uncollectible status. So maybe you don't have the financial means to pay the bill. And so you could go into an uncollectible status with the IRS.
Or maybe you had a horrible situation that happened in your life, and the truth is the IRS will stop collecting.
Right.
That's what your non-collectible status is.
Your husband, you're now divorced, and it was your husband who did something on the tax return. You could do an innocent spouse, so you're not liable for the money.
That's exactly, because there is all kinds of things affiliated with taxes, and EG Tax knows, and we want to help you. And so this show's all about dealing with your emails, and so we're going to take a short break right now for our sponsors, and we'll be back on the other side with your emails.
Come spend the day and shop your favorite stores at the McKinley Mall. We have fashion fun for all ages at Old Navy. Best Buy has electronics, computers, appliances, movies, and more. Find great deals shopping for that perfect outfit at American Eagle, Hollister, JCPenney, Express, and The Gap. At Ulta Beauty, you'll find a great selection of cosmetics and fragrances to choose from. Stop into Barnes & Noble for the best selection books.
Attention real estate investors thinking of selling investment property? Pay no tax. Call R.J. Gullo Companies, qualified intermediaries for 1031 exchanges and real estate investment specialists. For a free consultation on how to pay no tax when selling investment properties, call 675-1500 or visit us online at rjgullo.com. Call 675-1500 or online at rjgullo.com.
Hey, this is Esther, and let me tell you how great it is to have an insurance agent like Nationwide's Bill Barber. Bill's 40-plus years experience has saved me money on my premiums and potential claims. Have an insurance question, problem, or crisis? Bill will work with you personally without calling an overseas customer service number. All I can say is whenever I need someone on my side, I'm glad to have Nationwide's Bill Barber.
For all your insurance needs, call the Bill Barber Agency at 688-2199. Call 688-2199 today.
Nationwide is on your side.
JD Sound is Buffalo's most professional and unique entertainment source for bar mitzvahs, weddings, private parties, and much more. At JD Sound Buffalo, every event is personally customized with the best lighting and sound to make it unforgettable. To contact JD Sound Buffalo, call 716-908-2633 or email jdsoundbuffalo@gmail.com and visit our website, jdsoundbuffalo.com. Check out our social media, pictures, information, and much more.
I'm Esther Golias, the Tax Lady from EG Tax, and thank you for watching Ask the Tax Lady. We're going to go right to our email so we can help you with your tax situation. Mr. Bill, what do we have?
James from Holland writes, I'm 80 years old and I don't need my IRA money, but I know that I have to take it out just so I can give it to charity and write it off of my own tax return, right?
Mm-hmm. So you can do a distribution of RMD and bring it right to charity. It has to go right from the IRA right to charity.
It's a direct rollover.
Direct rollover, and you cannot take it as a charity deduction on your return.
Right, because it's not going to count as income on your tax return.
But it does count for the RMD.
But it does count for the RMD. There's a special code on the 1099, so the IRS knows that is from your IRA, it counts as your RMD, and it can be more than your RMD as well.
But here's the cool thing. A lot of people say, well, why would I want to do that? Because I'm not getting the charitable deduction. Because the income is not reported on your tax return.
Right.
So let's say you had to take $50,000 out in an RMD. And let's say your Social Security was $30,000. Well, that would make your Social Security 85% taxable.
Right.
So you'd end up paying taxes on your Social Security. The beautiful part about doing that rollover, if you did 50 from your IRA to a charity, it doesn't show up. So it makes none of your Social Security
That's right.
taxable, and it covers your RMD. And your RMD is your required minimum distribution. Why is that important that people do an RMD?
Because
even if you didn't need it.
once you reach the age of 70 and a half, you're required by law to do your RMD. And if you don't, let's say your RMD was $5,000 for 2016. If you don't, there's a 50% penalty. So that meant you are going to be exposed to a penalty of $2,500, and
Right.
that's huge.
And you can't get rid of it either.
50%.
Right. So it's a 50% penalty to not take your required minimum distribution. So it's extremely important that you do your RMD. And this is a great way to, if you're somebody that's charitable and you want to give it to a charity, do the direct rollover.
And then I think this is a good segue to this topic. I can't tell you how many people have listened to your radio show and they tell me to repeat this. If you're somebody who has money in an IRA and you're in a situation where your standard deduction deduction is $8,000 and your personal exemptions are $4,000 and you don't have to file, you could take some money out of your IRA and you still wouldn't have to file. You have room. So don't have it sit there if you still have room to not file. You know what I'm saying?
All right, so let's say husband and wife are filing a joint return. Their standard deductions like
$22,000
with their standard and
personal.
personal, $22,000. So if all you have is Social Security of, let's say, $30,000, half of your Social Security is potentially taxable, which is $15,000, so it's not going to be taxed at all. So here you have 20 some $1,000 of room where you can actually start taking money out of your IRA, even though you don't have to.
That's right.
Because it's tax-free.
Yeah.
So you just keep loading it up out of your IRA and putting it into your bank account or the stock market. So then when your children inherit it, they don't pay taxes.
Yeah.
And neither did you. And you didn't have to put it into a Roth. So even though you don't have to, you might want to.
And so that client tells me, keep telling Esther to say that.
So we said it again.
Yeah, we did.
Okay, that's good. All right, let's go back to our emails. Mr. Bill, do we got another one there?
Yes, we have Stephanie from Kenmore who writes, my husband and I just found out that we owe a little over $8,000 and we don't have the money to pay for it. And can we set up a payment program right now, or will this just flag us on an audit?
Good question. That's a really good question. And so that sort of parlays into what you were saying at the top of the show.
Yeah, it's really interesting. I love people talking about getting flagged for an audit, you know. When you owe money, they're not necessarily going to audit you. They just want to get
They want their money.
paid.
Right.
They really do want to get paid. So those would be if you don't set up a payment program, they're going to start writing you letters, but they're going to write you letters even if you do set up a payment program, because they're going to give you a monthly synopsis of how much you still owe them, because they want their money. Now, yes, we can set up a payment program, but if you have a way to pay the bill, wouldn't you suggest that they pay that bill? And I'll tell you why, because they're still paying interest.
Right.
They're paying a setup fee to set up the thing.
Right.
So
$100.
it's really much cheaper, even if you had a 0% credit card.
Yep. Well,
Right?
you got to be careful what you say, because a lot of people will say, well, I'm going to take the money out of my IRA or out of my pension and pay off the IRS or my credit cards. Well, if you're under 59 and a half, you just got hit with a 10% penalty.
Right.
So now you're costing yourself even more money.
But let's say you could get a 0% credit card, 18
Or
months,
home
0%,
equity.
and you owe the IRS $8,000. If you take that $8,000 over an 18-month period, so that's $444 a month, no interest, no penalties. You'd have them paid off in 18 months, and then more than anything, you want to fix it so you don't have that problem next year.
That's right.
You know, do you have equity in your house? Do a home equity
Right.
credit line of 8%. Two things happen, not 8%, of $8,000. Two things happen. The interest is deductible. It's at a very low rate, and you again can control it. You avoid all those the interest that the IRS is going to charge you and the setup fee. So yes, we can set up a payment program. Is it in your best interest? Not necessarily, but it will keep the wolves from the front door.
And the IRS is really easy to set up a payment plan. They're really easy to work with. So if that is an option that you have, you can come into us, and there's a form. You can actually file it with your return, and you could set up a payment plan with the IRS and
all right,
any
now,
state.
and then the other thing is, and I deal with this all the time with people that do have a balance due. If they never stop taking money out of your checking account when you set up the payment program, so you set it up, and they never take money out. And now it's August, and they still haven't taken money out. Now it's October, and they haven't taken money out. January, and so they come in and they say, well, I set up a payment program. Sweetheart, if they don't take money out, you aren't making payments.
Right.
The money has to come out of your checking account. It's incumbent upon you to call them and say, why aren't you taking the money out?
takes
Write
them
a
a
check out
long-
to them, because
right.
you know what? You may have liens on your property now.
That's
because you
exactly
haven't
right.
paid them.
So people think, oh, well, it's like people say, I'm going to make them come down and prove it. That's not the way it works. You have to fix it.
Right.
It's on you. It's not on them.
That's right.
Right?
That's right.
Okay. I'm Esther Goliath, the tax lady from EG Tax. We have 33 offices open 9 to 5, 9 to 9 Monday through Friday, 9 to 5 on Saturday, 2 offices open on Sunday. We can get it done. Our fees are the lowest, And you can see that we love you. So we're going to take a short break, and we'll see you on the other side.
JD Sound is Buffalo's most professional and unique entertainment source for bar mitzvahs, weddings, private parties, and much more. At JD Sound Buffalo, every event is personally customized with the best lighting and sound to make it unforgettable. To contact JD Sound Buffalo, call 716-908-2633 or email jdsoundbuffalo@gmail.com and visit our website, jdsoundbuffalo.com. Check out our social media, pictures, information, and much more.
Attention real estate investors. Interested in buying or selling multifamily investment property? Call R.J. Gullo Companies, qualified intermediaries for 1031 exchanges and real estate investment specialists. For a free opinion of value on your multifamily investment property, call New York State's premier multifamily realty company at 675-1500 or visit us online at rjgullo.com. Call 675-1500 or online at rjgullo.com.
Hey, this is Esther, and let me tell you how great it is to have an insurance agent like Nationwide's Bill Barber. Bill's 40-plus years experience has saved me money on my premiums and potential claims. Have an insurance question, problem, or crisis? Bill will work with you personally without calling an overseas customer service number. All I can say is whenever I need someone on my side, I'm glad to have Nationwide's Bill Barber.
For all your insurance needs, call the Bill Barber Agency at 688-2199. Call 688-2199 today.
Nationwide is on your side.
People often ask me, why should I use EG Tax? Why shouldn't I do it myself? First of all, our prices are 50% lower than our national competitors, and we're staffed with qualified licensed tax professionals. We know how the tax laws work for you. Secondly, when you hit submit, unless you're a trained tax person, you never know what you put on your tax return. Taxes are extremely complicated, but when you partner with EG Tax, you have someone in your corner. This year, come join our family.
Hi, I'm Esther Golias, the tax lady from EG Tax. This is our time to talk taxes, and we want to help you. So whether you are somebody that likes to have your question answered on air, you can do that on our radio show on Saturdays from 3 to 4 on WBEN on 9:30 a.m. Or you can just send in an email and ask the tax lady through our website, and maybe one of your tax questions through email will be answered here on the show. We're going to go back to our questioner. We're going to see what other questions we have, Mr. Bill. What other emails do we have?
I have a really interesting one here from Becky from Amherst. She writes, I'm a salesperson who drives to see clients all day long, and so does my husband. We have 2 kids and we live in an upper middle class neighborhood. But we make over $150,000 a year and are struggling financially. We thought about robbing a bank, but that would get us into trouble. Is there any other rabbits in your hat that you can pull out?
Well, I mean, really, once your income exceeds $100,000, the IRS starts limiting your deductions. The first thing I'd say to this couple is the tax laws are going to be changed and the rates are going to be reduced, and the AMT is supposed to go away. That's what I'm hearing. So those kind of things will be helpful in the future. I think what I find is when they're upper middle class couples, they aren't getting very many deductions. Many of their deductions are being phased out, and so it's all falling on them. I would suggest you come in and let us do some financial counseling with you, so that we can take a look at where you're really spending the money.
We have a program that does budgeting, which would be a great option for
And
them
there's
to
no
look at their
charge for us to
budget.
do budgeting.
And then I was wondering maybe they could get a home equity and pay off some credit card debt. I mean, there's things to look at. Maybe they're maxing out their pensions. Maybe they should cut back a little bit on the amount.
Well, I have to tell you, I really believe in the cutting back.
Right.
I can remember back when we first started EG Tax, we had no money.
Right.
And so we moved from a very expensive house to the cheapest house in Clarence. And my kids said, oh my gosh, Mom, where are you taking us? That's what we could afford. And so we stayed there for 14 years. And we went from 2 cars to 1 car, a used car. And we scaled back. And, at the end of 14 years, we had our finances in order. And we have been very blessed. And so, and things all work out. It's horrible to have to live paycheck to paycheck to paycheck with no sense of emergency money.
Right.
So maybe a budget and taking a hard
And
look at
that's
where
what a
you're
budget will
living.
do.
Maybe there's a house in a neighborhood next to yours that would be so much less expensive. Maybe you should move into the city where property taxes are
Right.
less expensive.
Or they could get a
But the
double.
thing is, if you're going to keep doing what you're doing, you're going to continue to get what you got.
That's
well,
right.
You know, maybe too, part of it is they're both salespersons. I know you mentioned AMT.
That's true.
Maybe they don't
That's
write
true.
off their expenses
That's
like
true.
they should. Maybe they're on an accountable plan, but they don't turn in their receipts.
Right.
You know, we
Right.
got to look because they
That's
could be
true.
throwing away tax-free money from
That's true.
reimbursements
True,
by
true,
not
true.
turning in their stuff.
True, true,
Yeah,
true.
yeah,
That is
yeah.
very true.
And there's a
or
lot
maybe
of
they're not
expenses.
availing themselves of their 401k contributions.
Right.
And a match. And for those of you that have an employer that would match your contributions and you're not contributing to your 401k, at least to that percentage, for instance, let's say they would do a 3% match and your salary is $40,000. So 3% of $40,000 is $1,200. If you put in $1,200, they put in $1,200. If you don't put in $1,200, you've actually thrown away $1,200, right?
Open up the window.
So those kind of things are sometimes just changing your mind.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I
Right.
can't tell you how many clients I've sat with and I've used that budget program, and it's just a great tool. You can't keep lying to yourself. You have to know what the facts are.
That's and the other thing is, many times you'll see people that are sending their kids to Ivy League schools. I mean, Ivy League school is great if you can afford it. If you can't afford it, then it's not so great. So if you're going into debt to go into an Ivy League school, sometimes you have to have that really tough conversation with your children and say, we can afford state schools.
Well, I was just gonna say, how many people do you know? Their kids, do you know what they want to know? They have no clue what they want to do. But they're going to RIT. They're going to Cornell. They're going to the $30,000, $40,000 a year school to sit there for a year to drop out.
Right.
And figure
Send them to UB, Buff State, NCCC,
Right.
ECC to get their feet wet to see if
Let's
that's
see
what
if they can do it.
Right.
Let's see what they do for the first 2 years. It's where you get your degree, not where you spent the first 2 years.
That's
So
right.
these kind of like practical things where, where you're just being honest with yourself. Maybe you're doing it to impress your neighbors. Maybe you're doing it to impress your friends. But impressing somebody might making you broke, right? So this isn't so much tax as it is budgeting, and that's part of what we do as well at EG Tax. Okay, I think we beat that.
Yep.
I said that.
Next question, Mr.
All right,
Bill.
Mr. Bill.
Interestingly enough, this one's from Rocco in Grand Island. He says, my 22-year-old daughter is very headstrong on claiming herself. But she's a full-time student and she makes less than $5,000 at Tim Hortons. How much could this really be saving herself, and why not let her claim herself?
That is so common.
Oh.
That is so common. We hear that all the time. And the truth is, she's in college and she's got the AOTC credit.
American Opportunity Tax
Credit. Part of it is refundable, part of it is non-refundable. And so mom and dad are going to be privy to this $2,500 credit, and she will not. And so, she should not
saves
claim herself.
zero.
Because she won't.
And her parents save, with the state, $3,000.
Right.
Just on the education.
Zero, $3,000,
Hello.
based on the education credit. I mean, what I say
Have
is
her come
whatever she would have done if she would have claimed herself, maybe she would have gotten $1,000. Give her the $1,000, you get the $3,000, you're $2,000 ahead, and the family benefit.
And what I usually do in this situation is I'll have her come in with mom and dad
That's
and
true.
see the numbers and say, aha. So if this is what I would get and this is what they get, and it's black and white, and then it clicks.
That's exactly right. I sit there and I say, we're going to do your return first, Susie. All right, see, watch this. All right, so if we do this is what your refund's going to be. Okay, we write it down. Mom and dad, if they don't claim you, this is their refund. If they claim you, look at their refund. And then I say to mom and dad, do you think you can give Susie her refund
Right.
when your money comes
Right.
in? Yes, because the family benefits by an extra $2,000.
There's a allocation of refund form, and you could actually put part of parents' refund in her account.
It's a shame, but that's exactly what many of the kids do.
Yeah.
They'll say, I don't trust my parents.
Right,
Make
right.
sure it goes in there.
Right.
I don't know, all the good old days. I'm Esther Golias, the tax lady from EG Tax. We have 33 offices to serve you. We're going to take a short break. We'll see you on the other side.
Attention! Are you interested in using your existing retirement account to buy and sell real estate tax-free? Call R.J. Gullo Companies, qualified intermediaries for 1031 exchanges and real estate investment specialists. For a free consultation to buy and sell real estate tax-free through the use of a self-directed IRA or a solo 401k, call 675-1500 or visit us online at rjgullo.com. That's 675-1500 or online at rjgullo.com.
Hi, I'm Esther Gullius, the Tax Lady, and this is Ask the Tax Lady, and we just want to thank you for all the shows that we've had all this tax season. The rest of the tax season, we're just going to be busy getting all those tax returns done. If you haven't learned anything during this series, you can see that we really are in your corner. And I will tell you, ignorance is not bliss when it comes to taxes. So if you see, as April the 18th approaches, that you're having problems, if you have done your own return and you think you need a second look at it, we don't charge anything to look at your tax return. We really want to help you. I will tell you, taxes aren't simple. And the situation and tax planning isn't simple, but that's two things that we both need. We need to make sure that this year's return is done as best as possible, and next year's return that you have a good handle on it. During the year, if you get a chance, you can listen to us on WBEN. We're there every Saturday from 3 to 4.
Not to mention we have navigators, healthcare navigators who work for us. So if you need help getting health insurance, don't forget that. If there's a life change related to your health insurance, they can tweak it and make those changes.
Or if you're getting letters or you can't pay. The bottom line is we want you to know that we're there in your corner all year long. And our one fee pays for everything. So if you come down every day, all the other 300 days a year or 280 days a year and spend an hour with us we don't charge you. I mean, people will say to me, you're not charging me? No, we only charge to prepare your return, and that is usually half of everyone else's fee of our national competitors. So you're getting a great buy on your money, and we have a 110% guarantee. So if you make an error, because we're human beings, if we type something wrong, we guarantee you that we'll give you a refund of 110%.
Yeah, and since this is our
Plus we pay penalty
since this is our last show, don't forget you have until the end of tax season, which is April 18th this year, to put money into an IRA. So call us if you work and put money into a traditional IRA to get that deduction. So don't forget to take advantage of that. Or like Esther always says, if you want to reclassify the Roth into a traditional,
don't have much time left to
out.
do because the tax rates are supposed to change. And the other thing is, as you hear that they're changing the tax code during the year, tune into EG Tax at Ask the Tax Lady on Saturdays at 3 o'clock on WBEN, because we will keep you abreast of the ever-changing tax code and laws and how it affects you. Until... Yes.
Oh, I just wanted to say, if you get a 1095B because you got health insurance through the marketplace, don't forget you got to put it in.
That's exactly. Until next year. Until on Saturday. I'm Esther Gullius, the Tax Lady, Christopher Fabian and Tiffany Fabian. Thanks for watching.
People often ask me, why should I use EG Tax? Why shouldn't I do it myself? First of all, our prices are 50% lower than our national competitors, and we're staffed with qualified licensed tax professionals. We know how the tax laws work for you. Secondly, when you hit submit, unless you're a trained tax person, you never know what you put on your tax return. Taxes are extremely complicated, but when you partner with EG Tax, you have someone in your corner. This year, come join our family.